Hey everyone, my name's Chris and I'd like to welcome you along to another Unreal tutorial. You know when you're placing lights around a scene and you wish sometimes that a particular light would not illuminate a certain object or a certain group of objects? Well, in Unreal this is handled by lighting channels. It's actually really simple to do and I'm going to show you how. So I have here a very basic version of the default tutorial scene that I normally use. But I have three spheres being illuminated in the middle with lights above. And the key differences to notice here is the spotlight on the left is illuminating the sphere and the floor below it. The spotlight in the middle is only illuminating the sphere, it's not casting any light onto the floor. And the spotlight on the right is the opposite. It's casting light onto the floor and not the sphere. The sphere is in actual fact only receiving bounce light off the floor. And that's the essence of what lighting channel does. It allows you to tell a light, I want you to illuminate this object, but not this object. I've reset the scene. All I've done is created a brand new sphere and a brand new spotlight. And I'm going to start by just showing you where to find the lighting channels. There's actually two places, and this is going to come important later because it defines how we decide how to set things up. First place is on the object, and the second place is on the light. So on the object, if I select the object, I'm going to select the sphere, and I need to come down and find the lighting section in the details panel, and I need to expand the advanced section. If you come quite far down near the bottom, you can see lighting channels here. I already have expanded. And you can see I have channel 0, 1, and 2 with channel 0 checked. Now, channel 0 is always the default one that is checked whenever you create a new asset. We'll come back to that in just a moment. For lights, it's quite similar, but it's not actually as far down. If you select your light and come under the light section, again, you want to expand advanced, and under here you'll find lighting channels. And again, you find channel 0, 1, and 2 with channel 0 checked being the default. So the way lighting channels work is if an object has channel 0 checked and the light has channel 0 checked, the light will light that object, just as we're seeing here. If I was to select the sphere and come to our lighting channels, if I was to turn lighting channel 0 off, you can see the sphere no longer receives light from the spotlight above it. But checking 0 back on and you can see it's receiving that light directly from the top. Similarly with the light, if I select the light and come down and find the lighting channels, if I turn off 0, it's no longer casting light on the floor or the sphere because both actually belong to channel 0, but this light's not set to illuminate channel 0 because I've turned it off. If I turn on 1 and 2, nothing happens because nothing lives in channel 1 and 2. Alright, so I've moved this sphere over to the center and reset it just so we can look at this a little bit more advanced. I'm going to search for lighting channels just so that we don't have to keep looking through the settings. I'm going to leave that there. So I've reset this back. The spotlight is only illuminating channel 0. The sphere belongs in only channel 0, and the ground only belongs in channel 0. I'm going to create a duplicate of the light. And direct it back at that central sphere. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to make this light blue. Blue. Okay, and I'm going to make another duplicate of this light on the other side. I'm just going to make that one red. And I'm just going to replace the lighting channels in there so that we have access to the lighting channels without having to search for it. So at the moment, as you can see, all three lights are illuminating both the sphere and the ground. Let's make some changes to that. Let's say we only want the blue light to light the sphere. So one way that we might want to do that is to set the blue light to only illuminate channel 1. So I'm going to turn channel 0 off, and you can see in the scene it stops affecting anything because it's set to illuminate no channels. And I'm going to turn it on to channel 1, and nothing is illuminated right now because nothing else lives in channel 1. I'm saying to you, only light things that are in channel 1. It's looking in the scene and it's not finding anything in channel 1. So if we want this to only light the sphere, we would have to add the sphere to channel 1. Now, if I don't want to uncheck channel 0 because I still want the sphere to receive the white light from above. So I'm actually going to check channel 0 and 1. And you can see it's currently receiving the white light from the top and the blue light. But the blue light's no longer casting light onto the floor because the floor is not set to receive any light for anything that's looking for channel 1. Let's do the opposite for the red light. We don't want the red light casting onto the sphere, only the ground. So let's set the red light to cast in channel 2 only. When I turn those off, again, nothing because the ground does not exist in channel 2. So let's put the ground in channel 0 and channel 2. You can see the ground is receiving the red light, the sphere is not receiving the red light. You can also have a light illuminating multiple channels. In this example, each light is only illuminating one channel each, but there's no reason to say that it can't illuminate multiple channels. Now, a typical workflow might be that you put all of your environment lights in channel 0. So that's when everything's going to receive that. And everything that you create, everything new, is automatically going to have 0 checked. So it's automatically going to receive environment-based lighting. But then you might have a second light rig set up for your characters, say, for instance. And you're going to put those lights into channel 1 and not channel 0. And you'll put the character into both channel 0 and channel 1. Hopefully you can see from that using lighting channels is actually fairly simple. It's actually the planning of what's going to go in what channel from both an object perspective and a light perspective that's actually where the complex decision making comes in. And using quite clever planning ahead of time, you can actually achieve some quite cool things. If you've got any questions, please just drop them below. I'll do what I can to help. Again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And until next time, take it easy.